you don't really need to do anything if you have new clean material. If it's been sitting outside or sitting in your shop for a long time, then an oxide layer's been growing on it, and you know, you should wipe it and clean it with the wire brush. The only time I really wire brush is at work. I tack everything together with a spool gun, or get parts given to me with a spool, or welder with a spool gun, or a pulse MIG. And so then I'll wire brush all the soot off. But other than that, this is good enough. And when you're learning, you don't want to spend all your time cleaning. You want to be welding. Hood time is more. Hood time is better than cleaning, in my opinion. But when I do clean things, I'll wipe it with 70% isopropyl alcohol, which I've found is my favorite, because acetone, I don't know, it stays on your hands and it smells. It's not good. I don't like it. The 90% alcohol or more just smears. The 70%, you wipe it off, it goes away, it's good to go. Doesn't leave any residue. Alright, so there's a bunch of different techniques for welding, not just aluminum, but everything else, and a lot of them transfer over. I'm just going to show some aluminum ones, since that's what I'm working on now. I just cut all this. This is 1/8 inch 5052 aluminum. I really like welding this stuff. And the filler that I usually use is 5356. I like this. It leaves a nicer finish than 4043. It's stronger, and generally the only reason I don't use it is if it's I'm welding cast aluminum, or if it's something that's gonna be in extreme temperatures with. Everything else can be welded with this stuff. But I use 3/32 5356. 3/32 can be used from anything from pop cans all the way up to when I do cleats on boats, you know, big, I'd say 5/8 thick aluminum. I'll usually switch up to 1/8 inch if I'm doing, you know, 1/4 inch or bigger like that, but sometimes that's all I have. Great all-around filler. If I could only get one filler, I'd get 3/32 5 or 5356. And same goes with my tungsten. I only buy one tungsten, and it's 3/32 lanthanated, because I can use it welding aluminum. If my balance is down, I can weld all the way up 250 amps, no problem. And I can go all the way down and weld razor blades with this. Basically all you're doing is you're keeping it in a liquid state the whole time, but then you romp on the pedal, and as soon as that pedal gets to the width you want, you jam rod in there, and then back off the pedal real quick. But you want it at the same as when you started, so it's a smaller puddle. So let's see if I can draw it. So you start off, get your puddle going to about here, step on it, jam rod, and then let off and move forward just right here. And you do it all at once, just real quick, and then you jam on it again, and then you move forward. And it depends how wide a space beads you want. Usually I'll move basically to the edge, maybe just a little inset, and just keep doing that all the way down. And this is my technique I love to use on pipe. This is steel, but the technique's the same. I love it because when I say I'm welding this right here, I can almost rest that cup in there. With steel I do rest my cup, but aluminum I don't because it's soft, and the material underneath is actually melting before the top layer. So if you do that, it'll scrape all the way around. But anyways, I can dab, jam, 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 and you can just move that cup all the way around like that. So I can get a whole run done. Whereas when I'm going like this, I have to make sure this hand is steady the whole time. I don't have 220 out here, so my machine's only up to 150 amps. Otherwise, I would have brought home some pipe, but we don't have anything thin enough that I can weld at home. So I don't have quite enough amperage to do it. I had to preheat a little, as you saw, just by waving it over. But that's the bead that you'll get using that technique if you practice with. The way ripples work is you have a puddle going, and when you introduce the filler rod, it cools the puddle, especially on the back edge of it. And then when you move ahead, it remelts or melts more, and then it cools. So as you add filler rod, it's cooling each time, and that's what gives it the each little ripple. Now I'll do the just a regular weld. Not quite hot enough. Don't have enough amperage without preheating. Come on, focus. Now, if I can get it hot enough, I'll try to do just a constant move with it. Finally, it's hot enough. You can kind of see it. Anyways, it's not as defined as that, but now that it's hot enough, it's flowing really nice, so I could do that nice slow pull the whole entire time. And that's what you'll end up with that. Now I'm going to do the dab, move, dab, move, dab, move. Alright. You can see it's a little more defined than the constant move. That's the one I usually use for almost everything. Now this one I'm gonna dab, stay put, let it all melt in, move, dab, stay put, let it melt in. And that's a really good technique, I just don't like the way it looks. And there's that one. But this is how you want to have it. Go to focus. Just like that. Edge to edge. So that way you have a trough for your filler to go. So apparently I can only weld outside corners here at my shop. That T-joint popped the fuse. I only got 110 out here, and so I have the machine maxed out at 150 amps, but that's too much. This is probably around 110 amps that I use on this. So these will be fine, but until I get thinner material I can't really do anything except outside corners. But I'll show you my just regular straight outside corner weld. They're always fun. It's easy because it kind of stays consistent if you keep a nice gap. And another tip, I run all my machines either maxed out or close to maxed out unless I'm doing like stainless. Then I like my precision amperage, and then I just adjust with my foot. So like at work, I keep my machine usually at like 250, and then just pedal everything. So if you can, get a rest or something that you can rest and prop on, and take dry runs at whatever you do, and make sure that you're going to be an angle. I don't mind like varying here and there, and I can do it freehand, but this make your weld look super nice when you're done. So start in from your edge tack, make a little tack, back up, start a puddle, and you want to be easy on the pedal on the very edge, and you want it angled in a little too. And I keep that angle throughout. It makes a shinier bead because your cleaning action's pointing forward, so it's not cleaning the back of the puddle as you're leaving it. So get your puddle started, add a few drops, and get that puddle the size that you like, and then start moving. And as soon as you start moving, you're going to have to start adding on the pedal to keep it the same size and to keep it flowing nice. Make sure everything's out of your way. And there's the outside corner. And this, the reason why most beads have this profile of, I don't know, what is that, just over 1/8 of an inch in between each, is, or this size, which is almost half the bead width, is, it's the easiest technique, because all you gotta do is get your puddle going, and then add your filler, and then move to the very edge of that puddle, and then add your filler, move to the edge, and so you get this consistent stack of dimes all the way down. And that's how I like to do it. Super simple, and once you learn it, you can get really quick at it. But the oxide layer forms so quickly and aluminum cools so quickly that you really don't need to leave your torch over it like you do with steel, and especially stainless and titanium, to prevent oxides from layering on those. This oxidizes no matter what. So when I get done, I'll move my torch away. It doesn't really matter. The only reason that I have post flow is so that my tungsten can cool down without oxidizing and getting all nasty. And same goes with the filler. I keep mine close, but you don't have to keep it in the or like under your cup like you do with steel. So I'll keep mine about here. If you keep it here like you can with steel, this will start melting, and when you go to dab it in, it'll droop and kind of just fall over your part. It's nasty, and it's I don't know, it's not as clean. But this oxidizes so quickly that you can just bring it out of your puddle and it wouldn't matter. You can bring it all the way out here, it wouldn't really matter. The 1/8 of a second, 1/16 of a second that it takes from dipping to pulling it out, and it's covered with that argon, is plenty. So anyways, that's another tip. Another tip, aluminum is very picky about its filler rod. If you say I was welding like this and I was trying to push filler for some reason from right here, this would want to glob up and drip down. I'll show you on a part. So I'll get like some weird angle and try to dip it in, and I'll show you what this does. Let's see if it'll see it. Where am I? Anyways, it'll drip and droop like that. And it's got a bunch of pepper on it, and so it just kind of welds crappy when that happens. If that dipped into the puddle, it'd be nasty. So basically for everything, I try to keep a 90-degree angle from the filler to this. So if I'm welding right here, I want my filler to be about here. You can be about here, and that's fine, but if it's at an extreme angle, especially like that, it's just going to melt that rod everywhere and be nasty. A tip though, when that happens and it gums up like that, take it out and flick it real quick. Just go like that, and that'll fall off, and you'll have a nice new side on it. Just like that. Now, if this is like aerospace stuff or something like that, I wouldn't do that. But just your regular stuff like building a box or anything like that, that's a clean piece of aluminum. It's fine to dip back in. And then you have something fun to play with. Piece of aluminum when they drop.